stable of exotic motor vehicles, a harem of women, and still seem to think that the Utica Volunteer Fire Department's your personal piggy bank. Today is that day.
Judge Larry Madlock actually broke his gavel block on that one. He's presiding judge, of course, over the Jamey Noel case, and he became a social media sensation after this dramatic, no-nonsense approach in the case, lecturing Noel right here over his bond conditions by holding on to 2 guns.
Now, Monday is sentencing day for Jamey Noel. There's a plea deal on the table, but will the judge accept it? Madlock has shown no patience, as you just saw with Noel.
We're going to spend a few minutes now talking to WHS 11's Travis Breeze. He's going to be in that courtroom on Monday, such a big day. And Travis, you've been covering the case for months. Let's talk about the plea deal for Monday, and also something you also heard very interesting in the courtroom today.
So the big headline that everyone's teasing ahead to at the end of our coverage today is that, yes, on Monday, I believe it's going to start at 9 a.m., at least 19 victims, people who say they're victims of Jamey Noel's crimes, will speak to the judge and speak to Noel about how they were affected. And then after all those people speak, Judge Madlock will decide if he will accept the current plea deal that Jamey Noel has agreed to, which is a 15-year sentence, 12 in prison, 3 suspended to probation. It also includes a little over $3 million total in restitution. The majority of that, $2.8 million, going to his former fire and EMS company, New Chapel EMS. So they are getting the bulk of the restitution in this one. And there has been some people in Clark County who feel this is not enough. Each one of these is kind of a small financial crime, most of them. But if you stack them up, there is 27 that he has pleaded to. And many people have said they want more than this 15-year sentence. And today in court, Judge Madlock actually talked about this, saying that he's aware there could be some pushback if he accepts the plea deal. And it happened when John Miller's attorney was speaking about all the publicity in Clark County.
And if I accept it, they're going to be mad at me too, huh? By extension? Receiving a benefit?
It was noteworthy because we'd heard a lot of people in Clark County say that's not enough, and we hadn't yet heard Judge Madlock give his thoughts on it. So he knows that there's a lot riding on what he's going to say on Monday.
Well, Travis, I think when a lot of people look at this, first you're like, 15 years doesn't sound like a lot. When you think about it, and it's a financial crime, kind of what you're just talking about, it seems like it is a lot when a murderer may get 8 years. So, but again, a lot in past cases where we've seen financial crimes, a lot of it has to do with the amount that the person is accused of stealing. And this is a lot. We're talking about $4 million over 4 years?
Roughly $4 million, yes. And he's only being charged with level 5 and level 6 felonies. Those are the 2 lowest level felonies in Indiana. But if you stacked up the maximum possible sentence for every one of the 27 he's agreed to, it would be a 126-year sentence.
Wow.
But because this is such a unique case where you have someone, and that's the max sentence, that's not the recommended. We would often see a judge go with the recommended, and we would see a judge run sentences concurrently instead of stack every single one of them consecutively. So there's so much at play for the prosecutor and the judge to decide, is this fair or not, because there's a huge gap.
It's tough to judge a judge and where they're going to go. And Judge Madlock, of course, we know, has shown a lot of frustration in this case. But a key point, he wants to hear from people who were the victims. And he said, I don't care about the CEOs. I want to hear from the people who were on the street. Why is that so important, Travis?
I think he feels that this case has gone so far outside of the courtroom, and he wants to make sure he gives everyone an opportunity to come into the courtroom and say their piece. So he really wants to hear from the people who lost their jobs when New Chapel EMS kind of quickly folded over about a 3-month period. Those people who lost their jobs, also people who had to wait a long time for ambulance service. We interviewed a family in Charlestown who had to wait, I think, 22 minutes when their baby was choking. So people like them, you can kind of delineate it out in your head. Noel stole money from the ambulance company. The ambulance company had slow response times. So then if you had to wait a long time for an ambulance, you're a victim. So he wants to hear from those people.
And what kind of feeling are you getting from the judge? I mean, are you getting any kind of feeling on how he's going to react on Monday?
He has to know what's coming. And, he was definitely made aware of what the plea deal was, before it was given to him. I think the only thing I can really say on that is if the victims give powerful, gut-wrenching statements, then it should sway him away from accepting it. But yeah.
So talking about the patience, is when Jamey Noel was out on bond for a while there, the spending continued, the judge got angry at that. Let's talk about what he spent. I'm sure there's some things top of your mind. We just showed video with some of the cars and the planes. What I remember the cigars for some reason. There's all kinds of things. Can you give us a list?
The cigars were the first one, I think, because we thought $4 million on cigars, what? And then, you know, the state police kind of slowly figured out a little more, and they kind of broke it down a little bit further for us and gave us some exact figures. So here's some I can give to you. $327,000 on travel and airfare, $184,000 on fine men's clothing from Tom James, $42,000 on an airplane and airplane repairs, $1,700 at St. Elmo's Steakhouse, so there's a lot.
Where does the case stand with his wife, Misty, and his daughter?
They just, revealed to us earlier this week on Monday that they are in discussions for plea deals of their own, and they are expected to give us an update on that Monday after Jamey's hearing.
So Monday's technically a holiday, so they're going to have the courtroom open, special security, they expect a crowd, and the judge could actually put this decision off, couldn't he?
He could. I mean, that's what he just did today in John Miller's case. He listened to arguments and he said, I need a few days to think about this. So that's a very real possibility.
All right. Focus investigator Travis Breed is going to be covering it on Monday, as he has for many months. Thanks for your
Done a
insight
great
on
job.
that.
Thank you,
Travis.
Connie.